Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a sweet and kind-hearted girl named Cinderella. She lived with her wicked stepmother and two stepsisters, who were very unkind to her. Cinderella had to do all the household chores while her stepsisters lazed around. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters were mean and jealous of her beauty and goodness. They would often make her wear old and tattered clothes and call her Cinderella because she would sit by the fireplace, covered in cinders, to keep warm. Despite all the hardships, Cinderella remained gentle and hopeful. One day, the king of the kingdom decided to throw a grand ball at the royal palace. Everyone in the kingdom was invited, including Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters. They were very excited about the ball and spent days choosing their most beautiful gowns and jewels. Cinderella's heart ached to go to the ball, too, but her stepmother and stepsisters were very mean to her. They told her that she couldn't go because she didn't have anything nice to wear. Cinderella was heartbroken but still dreamed of going to the ball. As the day of the ball approached, Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters left for the palace, leaving her behind. Cinderella went to her room and began to cry. Suddenly, a shimmering light filled the room, and a kind, elderly woman appeared. It was her fairy godmother. The fairy godmother asked Cinderella why she was crying, and Cinderella told her about her wish to go to the ball. The fairy godmother smiled warmly and said, "Don't worry, my dear. I will make sure you get to the ball." With a wave of her wand, she transformed Cinderella's rags into a beautiful gown, her old shoes into glass slippers, and even turned a pumpkin into a splendid carriage, pulled by mice and a friendly rat. Cinderella was overjoyed and thanked her fairy godmother with all her heart. However, the fairy godmother gave her a warning: "You must leave the palace before midnight, for my magic will only last until then." Cinderella arrived at the royal palace in her beautiful gown and glass slippers. As soon as she entered, everyone was mesmerized by her beauty. The prince, who was hosting the ball, couldn't take his eyes off her. He approached her, and they danced together all night. Cinderella was so happy, but she remembered her fairy godmother's warning. As the clock struck midnight, she rushed out of the palace, leaving behind one of her glass slippers. The prince tried to follow her, but all he found was the glass slipper. Back home, Cinderella's beautiful gown turned back into rags, and the pumpkin carriage became a pumpkin again. She was once again in her old clothes, but her heart was filled with the memories of the magical night. The next day, the prince set out to find the owner of the glass slipper. He went to every house in the kingdom, hoping to find the mysterious girl who had captured his heart. Finally, he arrived at Cinderella's house. Cinderella's stepsisters tried to squeeze their feet into the glass slipper, but it was too small for them. Then, it was Cinderella's turn. As she put on the slipper, it fit her perfectly. The prince knew he had found his true love. Cinderella and the prince were married in a grand ceremony, and she forgave her stepsisters for their past unkindness. They all lived happily ever after, and Cinderella's kindness and goodness shone even brighter in her new life as a princess. And so, the story of Cinderella teaches us that kindness and goodness always prevail, and dreams can come true, even in the face of adversity. The end.